What's up, YouTube community? What's up? What's up? It's your host, the Emperor Atheist, back with another great show on the Emperor Atheist channel. The name of this video is rightfully called Jesus Christ, a big fucking fraud. That's what he is. That's kind of rhymed. Yes, Jesus Christ is a big fucking fraud. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. Now, I've talked about this before in videos. I don't really get on the issue of whether Jesus was a mythical character or not. I like the conversation. He might have been a mythical character. There are a lot of mythicists out here, especially known historians, Richard Carrier, who I know personally, and other people, Robert Price, who speak on Jesus not even being a real character. But just for the sake of argument, and not even going down that subject, we're going to say that this motherfucker is really a real character. Not that it really makes a difference in the world, because Jesus is just not fucking showing up at the party. He's not on time. You read the New Testament, and those who are familiar with the New Testament Bible, and the way that the sayings were in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the Gospels, the people of that particular day and time actually thought Jesus was going to come back during that day and time. But guess what? He didn't come back. Now everybody in this era, our mother, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, have been waiting on this motherfucker, and he still hasn't showed up. Preachers, especially black preachers. I have to get on the black preachers. I have to kind of stay on the black preachers because they're actually really frauding our people with this shit. White people have been tricked as well. Chinese, anybody who believes in this Jesus Christ New Testament shit has basically been deluded. But the thing is, and I always mention this, and y'all know I make videos, especially dealing with black people. We've really been defrauded on this bullshit. I don't know if y'all remember 2015, and I always ask Christians this. It's mainly black Christians when I see them. I don't know how you can be black and Christian. I don't know, but it's still a case. But 2015, June of 2015, if I remember correctly, and I know y'all familiar with the shooting that happened in Charleston, South Carolina. It was an AME church, African Methodist Episcopalian Church in Charleston, South Carolina, and the shooter, who claimed to be a white supremacist, named Dylan Roof. Hopefully they rape him and kill him when he get to prison. But anyway, he killed 9 people. Black people were very nice to him. He came into the church. They even gave him, how to pass out the little booklets of what they're going to do when they get to Bible study and all that bullshit. He was amongst these people. I think he was in the church 30 minutes before he even got up and unloaded on them. He waited till they stood up in prayer to kill 9 people. He shot more than that, I think. I mentioned that to mention this. I'm not blaming Dylan Roof, even though Dylan Roof, is to blame, of course. But in the retrospect of black people and Christians, period, not just black people, but just the belief in this particular Jesus and this God, I have to ask black Christians this. Where in the fuck was Jesus the night these 9 people died? These people opened their arms up to this white man, Dylan Roof, white boy, he was 22 years old, white young man, and actually invited him into the church to pray with them and to, learn about this fraud named Jesus Christ. But yet, Jesus was nowhere on the scene when he pulled out his pistol. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, it was time for those people to die. And I'm going to respond with, you're stupid. Now, I don't know what it's going to take for people to realize that Jesus is a phony, a fake, a fraud. But the guy hasn't showed up for any of real engagements that's been going on since I've been here anyway. I haven't seen him show up for anything except within the New Testament. He raised Jairus' daughter from the dead. He raised Lazarus from the dead. He even raised up himself, or God raised him up, or whoever you want to believe. Some of you believe Jesus is God, so obviously he raised himself up. Whatever. We're not going to get caught up in that bullshit because we know that's bullshit. But just a question, man. The churches are making millions and billions of dollars off of its members worldwide. Jesus Christ is the biggest fraud ever. The biggest fraud ever that's ever been introduced to humanity, and people are making money off of it. even Rupert Murdoch. I don't know if y'all familiar with Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch, multi-million. I think he's a billionaire, if I'm not mistaken. But Rupert Murdoch owned basically the UK's version of the National Enquirer. It was called the New World magazine or some bullshit like that. And it was just like I said, it was like the National Enquirer. He made plenty of money off of it, just bullshit, lying on people, movie stars, shit like that, getting in people's personal business. Well, guess what? Rupert Murdoch, who obviously don't give a shit about nothing but money, Rupert Murdoch actually owns a version of the Bible. He owns a copyright, a version of, I think, one of the NIV, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all look it up, Rupert Murdoch. His company called Zundovern. They own, this is, matter of fact, that company that he owns is the biggest Bible publisher in the world. This man don't give a fuck about no Jesus, none of that shit. He's a businessman, a very shrewd businessman for those who really don't know who he is. King James Version, another example, is copyrighted, owned by the British Royal Crown. These people making money off of this Bible. This is what they call the bestseller. It is, because it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a systematic thing. Jesus Christ, the fraud, has been used to make money off of people who are ignorant and who just don't care, but want to be led, And all of these versions basically are copyrighted by different people. These people are making money off of these books. And some people say, well, they should get copyrighted because these, it's a hard task to translate the Bible. I agree with that. But you're telling me that the British Crown Royal family has had a copyright for 400 years when the copyright laws weren't even in effect when King James there? The British Royal Crown up until today still owns the copyright of the KJV, something that wasn't even copyrighted during the 16th century, but they still got it. So this ought to tell religious people something. This book that y'all believe in is not respected by people, but it's used to actually control you. I think it was Napoleon Bonaparte who said that religion is the tool to stop poor people from killing rich people. Now, don't quote me on that, but I guarantee you I paraphrase it correctly. And he's right. He's right. In other words, religion actually keeps the poor people in check. It keeps them from, in other words, if we keep this veil over your eyes, then you won't actually go at the people who are actually running the world. You don't give a damn about the 1% because you think Jesus is going to come back and save you, or you think some sky fairy is looking down on you or judging you like Santa Claus. And Napoleon Bonaparte actually hit it on the head. He said religion was basically a tool to control the poor people, or to stop the poor people from killing the rich. And you think about it, man, it's real. Because, like I said before, and I've said this all the time, billionaires and multimillionaires, you find no religiosity amongst these people. They don't give a fuck about a Jesus or nobody or none of that garbage. But amongst the ignorant and amongst the poor, you find the most religious people who expect to get something in the sky, or pie in the sky. But like I say, I always refer back to my people, because, and this is why I made a couple of videos. I made a video called "The Need for More Black Atheists." Where are all my black atheists at? Because I actually, and the reason I say this, because my people are some of the most religious people ever, and I actually want more of my people to open up their minds, man. So I asked them questions like this: where the fuck was Jesus? Where's Jesus with all this black on black crime? Where's Jesus with the unemployment rate among black men and black women in this country? Around the world, where is Jesus? Where the fuck is this fraud Jesus with all these children, black, white, Chinese, Asian, dying in this country every year from whatever it may be, car accidents, pneumonia, different things, child abuse. I just made a video on the Catholic Church and child molesters. Where the fuck is Jesus Christ? You telling me God and Jesus just sitting back and letting all this stuff just happen? It don't make no fucking sense. And a logical thinking person should think about this. Where the fuck is Jesus for all the deaths in Africa? Okay? Where's Jesus? All these children dying of diseases, of malaria, diseases over there that they would be cured for over here. And not only Africa. How about all the babies who dying in South America, in Argentina, in Central America, in Cambodia, all over, Vietnam, Asia, Australia? Where the fuck is Jesus Christ? This is why I had to make this video. And to just, it was just on my mind. I was like, damn, man, people, because I was just happened to run back on that story about Dylan Roof and how he just went in a Bible study and was accepted in a Bible study. They didn't say, hey, get out of here, you white, or they didn't ask him, was he Christian, or they didn't give a damn what he was. They just, they opened arms, they welcomed him in, gave him a Bible study sheet, and as they stood up to pray, he shot and killed 9 people, including the pastor, who was a 74-year-old man. So, you got to sit back and think, what the fuck? What the fuck is Jesus Christ? He's a fucking fraud. It's simple as that. It's all about money, man, and power and business. That's all this Jesus shit is about. Like I say, I don't get off into if Jesus was a real historical person or not. I don't give a fuck whether he's a real historical person or not, because he hasn't done shit for me, whether he was real or not. But it's like I said, it's a great conversation piece, a great debate piece. But whether he was a real historical figure or not does not take away from the fact that he hasn't done shit for nobody. Nobody. Black, white, Jew, nobody. That's why the Jewish atheist community is even growing. I made mention that in my video. I have a Jewish atheist. I have a couple of Jewish atheist friends, matter of fact, that I even talked to on Twitter. I have some David Silverman and Sarah Silverman. These are Jews who are actually atheists who know that this is bullshit. But like I said, man, that's what this video is about. Jesus is a fucking fraud. It's simple as that, man. It's all about money. New Testament is bullshit. No original copies of the New Testament ever found. Only copies of copies of copies of copies of copies of copies. Which only goes back, basically the oldest script we have, or what we call piece of papyrus, which I think is the oldest one is P52, if I remember right from my studies. Goes back to like the 2nd century. So it's a bunch of bullshit. No historian, no contemporary historian ever mentions anything about the Jesus Christ. But yet, when you read the New Testament, this motherfucker fed 4,000 and 5,000 people with fucking fish and bread. All these fucking people, somebody should have been talking about this motherfucker, and some historians should have heard about him. But that wasn't the case. Josephus mentions him vaguely from shit he heard, nothing that he knew. Then the Roman historian Tacitus mentioned him vaguely again. Basically, not even mentions him, but it mentions a story about him. So these were not contemporary historians. They were born 40, 50, 60 years after the so-called time period of Jesus Christ. So that shit don't count. So I just wanted to make this video and say, man, I think that's the biggest fraud ever, man. Donald Trump ain't got shit on Jesus Christ. I am the Emperor Atheist, and I'm out. Peace.